What's going on, great people? This is Hassan Maki again. Another episode of Reborn to Inspire. It's Thursday, and I'm going to tell you from now that this episode is going to be on fire because I'm going to be talking and chatting with my very good friend, Nelson from Canada. So, without further ado, let me welcome Nelson on board. Nelson, are you there?
Hey, hi Sam. How are
How are you
you?
doing? I'm doing
It,
good.
it,
How are you doing?
it's great to see you. I'm thrilled to be here. And you know what, my friend? Today is a great day to be above ground, I tell you.
Well, that's an on fire beginning. Um, were you saying that it's a great day to be above ground? It means that you
It's a
have a lot
great
to
day.
share.
It's a great day to be above ground, I tell you. Yes, it is.
I want you to give us a small introduction of who you are before I ask you the first question.
Well, first of all, if I may say to you and your viewers, if I say nothing else, I'm nothing but a servant of God and Christ. And if I stop there, then that's all I need to say. But since you're going to allow me to go on, I am the proud son of a brave mom and dad who left their established lives in their homeland in the Philippines to take a chance for a better life and came to Toronto, Canada to create a life for them and their two unborn children at the time, my sister and I. My dad just passed away before Christmas this year, but it's because of him and his bravery to take a chance and bet on himself. I get to live out my goals and dreams along with my family and my mother in Toronto, Canada. And that's the most important thing I would like to share, other than I bleed the same color red as everybody else on the planet. And and chances are there's nothing new that you're going to hear me say today that you don't already know. But I can't wait to share time with you and your viewers, Mr. McKee.
Wonderful. So I'm going to ask you the question that I normally ask my guests when we start the conversation, and that's the core of our series, Reborn to Inspire. The question is, what is the major event that happened in your life? Of course, you have so many events, but I'm talking about the major event that you decided to reborn after it to inspire others rather than surrendering or giving up or, being a victim of that sort. What does this event look like?
Wow, what a great question. If you allow me to back up a little bit, can I preface the answer with a little bit of a story?
Go ahead. It's all yours.
Well, thanks. I mean, there's a sentence that has been a part of my life since I've been a kid. And that sentence is gems, precious gems, can't be polished without friction, nor human beings without trials and tribulations. And I want you to remember that as I share my story with you. You see, before I start, I'm wondering, is there anyone out there, I'm wondering, that has ever had life hand you something that you didn't expect? And if you answered yes, I ask you to put a heart in the comment section. You see, Hussam, I was lucky enough to climb that mountain of ambition and success, get to the top, enjoy the view for a while, only to come crashing down, spiraling down, losing everything that I'd ever worked for in a blink of an eye. Humbling, so humbling. I was lucky enough to build a thriving physical therapy private practice that specialized in injury assessment, treatment, and rehabilitation. And I'll never forget this. It was May 2016. We were on the second floor of my studio loft. My team and I were celebrating, clanging the champagne glasses that were secretly filled with Diet Coke and ginger ale. Celebrating, because we had reached a monumental goal and we were on cloud nine. We were living the dream and it was amazing. And then a week later, 168 hours later from that specific joyous moment in time, I was shockingly diagnosed with cancer.
Mm.
And I was forced immediately to live in the hospital for supervision, evaluation, and chemotherapy treatments. And to add salt to the wound, as a secondary complication, I lost my ability to walk, and I became a prisoner of a wheelchair for the next 3 years. The reason I share that story with you is to show you that adversity will attack anyone anytime it wants, regardless of your age, your gender, your status, your religion. And when adversity comes and it stares you right in the face, there are only two outcomes. Either you find a way to conquer it, or you crumble. You see, as crazy as that story may sound, that was the easy part. Lean in, let me share this with you. On 2017, I was forced to live in 5 different hospitals, five different hospitals, 24/7. And I'll never forget this. My very, very first cancer doctor, let's call him Dr. K. Dr. K gave up on me and told my family and myself that I was terminal and there was nothing him or the hospital could do. But the good news was he was going to transfer me to the palliative care team to ensure that I'd be comfortable and pain-free in my remaining days. When I heard that, it's like a sword came and swooped and cut me at the knees. And my life flashed before my eyes. After wallowing in self-pity for about 10 minutes, I promised myself that if I am going to die, I'm going to leave this planet on a bang. And I'm going to chase one more undying goal, one more goal, regardless if adversity had me by the ankles and wanted to drag me down. And that goal that I wanted to do was I wanted to write a blog. I know you're thinking, I'm on my deathbed. Why would I want to write a blog? Well, for personal vanity reasons, absolutely not. You see, at that moment in time, I had a 6-year-old nephew, a 5 and 3-year-old niece, 2 brand new born twins, which I knew that I wasn't going to get a chance to see grow up. And that broke my heart. But I wanted to create this blog and put together my thoughts, my feelings, my ideas, so I could leave it behind for them. So that way I could still be a part of their lives after I had passed away. But it looks like the joke's on me. You want to hear something funny? Let's fast forward to 2018. My brand new cancer doctors, brand new. I left Dr. K in the rearview mirror. And my brand new cancer doctors did everything they could to keep me alive. And on September 28, 2018, they miraculously stamped me cancer-free and told me to go live my life. Yeah. And 2, that blog that I was talking to you about, that I specifically left behind for my younger family members, it has trickled across the planet and developed a global readership, which was never the plan. And 3, an online community has been created and is walking alongside that blog. And the reason why I share this with you and your viewers is not to brag. I share this with you to show you that adversity introduced me into a more stronger, more resilient me. Adversity pulled me away from the idea of faltering and told me and inspired the reason for fighting to live. Adversity gave me one more undying goal to chase, which was to create that love-filled blog. Adversity opened my brain, turned it on to the possibilities of what I could still do with my remaining days on this planet instead of shutting it off. You see, instead of me lying in that hospital bed waiting for the coffin to arrive, I chose to write that blog because I remembered that when you come face to face with adversity, there are only 2 things that can happen. Either you find a way to conquer it or you crumble. And I didn't want my last days to be fading away, wasting whatever time I had left. And it's funny how life unfolds, but the joke's on me. I'm still here. I get to stay. and I get to share a few minutes with you and your viewers, my friend. And that's it.
Man. And how are you feeling now?
Liberated, free. Like, when you go through such a trial and tribulation, I could be selfish and keep it to myself. But I honestly believe that every human being on this planet has a story to share, a story of struggle, shortcomings, hurt, pain, and victory. And maybe this is what I'm doing with my remaining days. I promised myself that because I got a chance to stay, because I had this extra time, that I was not going to let this trial and tribulation that I went through be in vain. And if I can, I will share my story. I will keep writing that blog. If I hope I can reach one person to believe in believing and that it's possible to conquer adversity. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. But it's possible. If I can reach one person to have hope, then I've done my job on this planet.
When you were told, like, how did you discover, what were the symptoms that made you think that you have cancer?
You know what, Hussam? I had no idea. I was just living my life as a physical therapist, living my regular day. And then I just went in for a regular annual checkup on your birthday. And then all of a sudden, I was just explaining that I was feeling more tired, more lethargic than normal. But I just thought this because I was just working so hard, putting in long hours, and then the doctor was doing some objective testing. This was my family doctor. And then she goes, you know what? I'm going to send you for some more tests. And I go, why? You never send me for more tests. She goes, I'm just going to send you for more tests. So I played along and I did it. And I'll never forget this. It was a Friday morning at 11:10 a.m. I was driving to work and I got a call on my cell phone and it came from my family doctor. And she said, are you driving? I said, yes. She goes, I need you to pull over right now. And then when I pulled over, she goes, I'm going to need you to cancel the rest of your day and come in to see me right now. And I said, why? She was please, just cancel the rest of your day, your patience, and I need to see you right now. So I canceled my day. I went to see her and she goes, sit down. And when she said, sit down, she never tells me to sit down. And I said, uh-oh. And all of a sudden she goes, I've taken the liberty of referring you to an oncologist. And when you hear oncologist, you right away, you hear that word, cancer. Me? Cancer. I want to send you for more tests, but I'm referring you to an oncologist and we're going to take it further from there. And I'm so glad that she did, because she saved my life and she got the process rolling. Because if not, I would have just been living my life as a therapist, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I would have never have known. And it's funny how life unfolds, but I guess that's how I found out. And when I heard it, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little angry. I was like, God, why are you giving this to me? You know how I live my days. Why? You know what I'm doing with my minutes on this planet. So but then I made a deal. And I said, okay, God, fine, I'll go through this. But I beg you, please leave all my friends and family alone. I'll go through this, but just leave my friends and family alone. And that was the deal I made. Because the people I love. And I just said, I'll go through this, but leave them alone. But like I said, this story is a happy ending. We all know I'm cancer free. And yes, sorry forgive me. It's
No problem. No
forgive
problem, my
me.
friend. My friend, this platform is, for us to share the stories that we decided to reborn after, to inspire other people. And these tears just shows how transparent you are, and you know um, how genuine you are to share your story and to tell people that it's not over until we win the battle. And you won, my friend. You won. You are walking your talk.
Yes, yes. And then there's one thing I didn't tell you. My 2018 was completely filled with my own physical rehabilitation, which is
Mm,
pretty ironic because I'm a physical therapist. And my
mm,
whole 2018 was spent with me relearning how to walk again. And it was my goal. It was my goal to graduate from that imprisoning wheelchair of 3 years into a mobile walker, onto 2 canes, eventually 1 cane. And the hope was to one day triumphantly walk alongside my friends and family again. And I worked hard 2018. And you know what, Hassam, have you ever done this thing called mental imagery or visualization?
uh, I don't remember if it had be if had be if it had been done for me when I was young after my accident, but being conscious, no.
Right. Or maybe another word might be called imagination. Have you ever imagined, dreamed?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about a medical term or something. Of
It's
course,
okay. It's
of
okay.
course, of course.
Yes.
Maybe I'm still there, and the
Yeah.
stories you've been telling. That
Yes. Because mental
was
imagery.
tricky.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mental imagery and imagination. Can I share a story with you regarding imagination and mental imagery?
Sure, sure.
As you know, I was stuck in that hospital bed. I was a prisoner of that hospital bed, hospital room, hospital setting. But I refused to let my mind, my brain be a prisoner of those four walls. And as
Mm,
silly as this may sound, as I was living in that hospital, in between chemotherapy treatments, I would imagine myself beyond the four walls of that hospital, seeing myself living a typical Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, going through my typical patient roster, going through the conversations I would have with people, going through the arguments I would have with people. And I would live that day, a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Why? Because I was trying to I was trying to trick my subconscious into believing that I was out there in the world living instead of being stuck in that hospital bed, slowly
mm,
dying. We've all been told that there's this body, mind, spirit connection. And to
mm,
me, those were just words on a page. But when you're almost on your way out, I tried to do everything I could to put myself in a position to win. And I used mental imagery. I tried to create my own reality in my brain to trick myself, to trick my anatomy, to trick my neurology, to trick my physiology that I was out there living instead of slowly dying in that hospital bed. Have you ever played this game called Pac-Man?
yeah, sure.
Okay, then, oh my gosh. You know that Pac-Man, you know, he's on that board eating up those dots, waka, 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 right?
Right, right, right.
I I would envision that I had my own internal Pac-Man in my body, eating away at the cancer cells. And I would do that every lunch, breakfast, dinner, bedtime. Wah, 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 wah. This Pac-Man in my body, I would imagine that it was eating away at my cancer cells. I would. These are the games you play. And as far as walking, I would mentally imagine myself, even though I was still stuck in that wheelchair, imagining that I was walking down a specific street. making a specific turn at the right-hand corner, walking towards to a specific gas station, getting a specific drink, turning it around, walking back home, grabbing a drink with specific people around me. And I played this in my brain as if it was a film strip, and it became my favorite movie. I did not watch any, people are going to think that I live in a cave, but I separated myself from anything negative that could pop into my head. Could have been TV, news, newspapers. I just surrounded myself with positive thoughts, positive people. I protected my attitude. I used mental imagery to try and trick my body. There are so many things you do when you feel you're on the way out. And these are stories that I want to share with people, because people may not agree with the idea of imagination, mental imagery, visualization. But there's a lot of science that's backing it up. I didn't know that. I didn't know that up until now. And one of the best lines I've ever heard, and you might have heard this yourself, is imagination. Your imagination is a preview of your life's coming attractions.
Mm. Mm.
And I hang on to that sentence, even today. These are stories, these are things that I did. I may sound really extreme, but I desperately wanted to live. My friend, you and I are graduates of that university that's titled Trials and Tribulations. And you and I are living proof that it's possible to defeat adversity and still contribute into this world. Why? So we can make it a better place. And I know I'm not wrong.
Sure, man. Sure, you're not wrong. I want to ask you this. Before you heard that you were diagnosed with cancer, were you into what you're doing today as a coach?
I have been a coach since 1987.
All right.
But I didn't realize I was doing that until I became a professional at it. I worked with youths since 1987. Through sports, through camps, through leadership programs, through painting the dream, planning the dream, executing the ideas that you have in achieving the dream, and then making it real. And I did that with kids for years. And then all of a sudden, as time went on, I would move up into my professional work. But projects would always show up for me where I would have to use those skills to help create something from nothing, because somebody might not have believed that it was possible. And these projects always came across my desk. And I can honestly say I've accidentally become an empowerment and productivity coach. And it's funny how life unfolds. Maybe I was born to do that my whole life, but I didn't know I was doing it. And then now, on top of being a physical therapist, and I left that life behind now, and I am now a coach for youth, young adults, and health professionals who are looking to pull their professional and personal greatness out of them. And it's so funny how we have to go through the fire and get through to the other side for people to actually want to hear what you have to say. And it's ironic, but today I function as a coach. People say you're a life coach, you're an empowerment coach, you're an executive coach. I'm not one for titles. I'm just a dreamer who's got my heads up in the clouds, who believes that things are possible through faith and through my God and through my story of what I have gone through. And I hope that I can instill that in the people around me. Why? Because we only have this one chance at life, and we should do the best we can to make sure we become the person we were born to be, not less. And I know that's hard for people to hear, but I promise, you hang around with me for a while, you'll start to believe in yourself, and you'll go after the things that your friends were saying. No, that'll never work. That can't happen. Who do you think you are? No chance. And I'm okay with where I am right now. Even though I may have left my profession behind, I'm okay with the way that I'm functioning in the world right now. And perhaps this is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And I'm okay with that.
Cool. So how did your experience impact the way you're coaching people today? Is there any difference between now and before?
I was a firm believer that adversity truly introduces a person to themselves. And the first lesson I was in grade 3, my grade 3 teacher. I got scolded for doing something I wasn't supposed to do. And she told me to come to the desk. And she said, Nelson, I want you to know this. When it comes to adversity and challenges, there are only 2 outcomes. Either you conquer or you crumble. And that was in grade 3. That's the first time I had even heard the word adversity, challenge, conquer, and crumble. And it has stuck with me ever since. And you know, it is how your attitude perceives adversity, which will determine your mental and physical behavior towards it. And my message to people is that adversity is going to come. There's no escaping it. We will not get through life without having adversity visit us on its own time. And when it does come, we have 2 choices. Either we can lay down, become a victim to it, or we can find a way to rise and conquer it. And if we ourselves don't know how to do that, we can plug into people who have crossed that bridge successfully before us and bother them and ask them, hey, you did it. Can you help me get there? You just have to be brave enough to do it. And you just have to believe in believing and that things are possible. Is it hard? Absolutely, yes. Or else everybody would be doing it. But since grade 3, that first golden nugget from my grade 3 teacher has stuck with me ever since. And I've always embraced adversity. Have I had fun with it? Absolutely not. One of the most difficult things is go through adversity. But to find a way to go around it, to go above it, to go underneath it, even though a door closes, once you get to the other side, you can say, hey, it's possible. Come on. And that's what my days have been like as far as me being alive on this planet. That's basically me in a nutshell.
Cool. If I ask you to, like you told me when you came to know about the cancer, and you've been diagnosed with cancer, and you started saying that, why me, or something like, you know, do I deserve this? Like, you had this kind of doubt. If I ask you now to describe how you digested the experience and what was the message that God was trying to tell you. If I told you to describe this message or to put this message in your own words, like, what do you feel? What was the message? What does the message tell you? What's telling you?
You know that sentence where it says, faith untested can't be trusted.
Right.
I honestly believe that my God, our God, put me through that test to test my faith in him. And you want to know something? Instead of throwing my hands up and giving up, I grabbed onto my God even tighter and I hung on to him. And I said, okay, if this is the cup that you've given me to drink, fine. I'm with you. I'm in your hands. But because I found a way to win, because he let me win, and he tested my faith now is even stronger than it was before this whole ordeal. I honestly believe this was a test for me to get to that another level, higher level of faith, where my roots could even grow deeper, to the point where I don't want to say unshakable, but I'm getting a lot closer to unshakable. And you know, now that I've stared death in the face, what else have I got to be scared of?
Let me ask you this question. Why you didn't say, why me? And you just gave up on believing?
Because I'm human. And I got scared. My gosh. That feeling of why me? Why? But then
I
now I
mean,
know why. Now I
what I,
know why.
what I meant is why you didn't choose the path that says, why me? And you gave up on believing in God.
Oh,
Why you did not give up on believing in God? Because you see, I'm going somewhere with this question. There are a group of people who throw out the towel from the first test. Why you did not throw out the towel?
because I believed him
All right.
when he said that all things are possible through God, through Christ. And I believed him when he said that he is with me through thick and thin. And I believed him when he said that he will not give me a trial or tribulation that I can't handle. I believed him when he said that he beat death. And it gave me hope that, you know what? I'm going to find a way to beat death also.
So you didn't feel that this was a betrayal?
No, I believe that it was a test.
Okay. And
I believed it was a test
what was the roots of your belief?
because I honestly believe that in order to reach a certain level of, I don't want to say leadership, I don't want to say accomplishment, but when you were looked upon as a certain something or as a certain someone on this planet, you have to go through these trials and tribulations so you can shine brighter. And I never once felt betrayed by God. You know, as a human, I'm not going to lie to you, it hurt. But then I said, okay, test me. Test me. I'm qualified for this. I can do it. And my faith in him, and more importantly, my family, my mom, my sister, my friends and family, they have an undying faith, and they prayed for me, and I hung on to their belief also. And I did not get through this trial and tribulation by myself. I'm a product of every single friendship, relationship, acquaintanceship that has ever come my way. And to answer your question, I never once thought that God betrayed me. I honestly believed he's putting me through some kind of test, maybe sharpening my sword, strengthening my iron, because I have a feeling there's more work to do. And maybe this is just a class I had to sit through so I can get to the next one and figure out what my next life mission is supposed to be. I know it sounds really, really way out there, but I'm foolish enough to believe in the impossible, and I'm okay with that.
Wonderful. So, what would be your advice for the people who are going through a similar experience, especially that we're now going through this pandemic? You know, there are people who survived the coronavirus, and there are people who are still going through it, and there are people who lost their loved ones. What would you tell them from your heart?
Oh gosh. I would say that adversity, you can't escape adversity. It's coming. But what you can do, and what every single person on the planet can do, is we can find a way to protect our attitude. Because it's our attitude which affects how we interpret situations, our feelings, positive or negative, and our behaviors towards circumstances. in a way that I've used, which anybody can use, is to protect the information that goes into your brain. I would commit to reading to 15, 20 minutes daily from a positive mental attitude book, or reading stories of people who have gone through trials and tribulations and have come out the other end of victory. Why? Because by reading their story, it gave me hope. If they could do it, so could I. Secondly, let's say you're someone that doesn't like to read. I totally get it. Maybe you're someone that likes to watch your information in, or listen to your information in. You could plug into an audio podcast, or watch a video, something that will help uplift and esteem you, make you feel worthy of success, to help you erase stinking thinking from your brain.
Mm.
And three, this is what I did. I made sure I surrounded myself with only quality people, people that truly wanted to see me win and were willing to help me win. And I took people that were negative, who said no, don't, won't, can't, who criticized, complained, and condemned, who didn't believe in my ability to win. And I said, look, it's January 1st, 2018. I love you. Yes, we're related, but I don't want to see you until, let's say, January 30th, 2050.
Speaking of that, what's
and four, I would just make sure that, okay, this is the hard part, because I know everybody watches TV. I would cut myself off from the TV.
Okay.
I did not watch the news. I did not watch anything that was traumatic or catastrophic or negative that could get in the way of my environment to grow and win. And people say, well, why did you do that? And I said, well, you know what? If anything is truly important, I'm sure you'll tell me all about it, because I know you're plugged into the TV, reading the newspapers, watching the news, and I'll wait for that information from you. I sound really, really extreme. I know I do. But these are the things I had to do. I had to do to put myself in a position to win. These were principles that I would share with the youths and teens and young adults that I work with. These were principles that I shared with health professionals who were looking to build their businesses when people didn't believe in them. So these were principles that I had to dig into myself and apply and live. And I'm still here. So maybe, who knows, maybe I'm onto something.
So if I ask you to recap these, these points that you have mentioned now, if somebody is writing them down, what's number one, number two, number three?
Adversity's coming. There's no escaping it. How your attitude perceives it will determine how you'll mentally or physically behave towards it. Either you'll run from it, crumble beneath it, or you'll find a way to conquer it, or you'll find a way to make sure that you can climb over it, go through it, come underneath it. And if you don't know how, you'll find someone that's crossed that bridge before you for help. And last but not least, like I told you, my father just passed away before Christmas.
Yeah.
And one of the nuggets that he left my sister and I was to never, never put off what you can do today for an unguaranteed tomorrow. And as you know, I was living in 5 different hospitals between 2016, 2017. And I was surrounded by death and sickness 24/7. And I'll never forget this. The greatest epiphany I had was lying in that hospital room. And I had realized, my gosh, the sky opened up, and that the biggest, greatest lie that we've all been led to believe, even me included, was that we all have time and an unlimited amount of some days and a whole bunch of I'll do it later opportunities. And that's wrong, because no man or woman knows the hour or the day of our last breath. And like my father said, refuse to put off what you can do today for an unguaranteed tomorrow, because distractions are there and they will pull you away from the prize, from the goal, from the destination. A distraction is anything that gets in the way, and they're out there. We all know that, but it's up to us to not let the distractions win. And then if we do this right, if we focus on getting our check marks, we can die empty like my dad did, leaving no unfinished earthly business without bringing any earthly business with him to the grave. And that's him. That's that picture behind my right shoulder. And these are the nuggets that he gave me. And these are the nuggets that I learned from my grade 3 teacher. And these are the nuggets that I learned going through my personal trial and tribulation. And if I can share my story and hopefully reach someone on the other end of the camera to give them hope and believing that it's possible to win, then I'm okay with that.
Well, I want to thank you for, taking the decision of being reborn to inspire after all this experience and all the nuggets that you have learned. I'm sure that these things that you have learned were the backbone of, you know, of the whole journey. You were walking with these um, golden nuggets that you have learned. So I want to thank you for deciding to reborn to inspire others, because I'm sure that there are so many people who are going to be inspired by your decision to overcome your adversity. And that's why I asked you to, you know, put the advice that you gave in bullet points, because I'm sure that there are some people who are looking to hear this. So thank you so much for that. And you were talking about the 30th of January 2050. Speaking of that, like, what are your plans for the future?
Oh my gosh. Wow. This is great. You know, when you're, there's something I need to share with you also. And it's the cherry on the sundae. On January 3rd, 2021, January 3rd, 2021. Remember how I was stuck in that wheelchair and I wanted to graduate into a walker to 2 canes and 1 cane? Where on January 3rd, 2021, I took my cane and I put it in the closet forever, because I am now walking upright on my own alongside my friends and family again. And the reason I share that with you is to let people know, my gosh, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible to win. And as far as where do I want to be 10 years from now, I still want to be sharing my story, because I believe that everybody needs a story of hope and victory. Because why? There are these words: inadequate, insignificant, invisible, unseen, unheard, lost, alone, scared, unsure. These are words that I got to know. I never knew these words before I got sick. And I think these words that I've used in my blog has made it relatable with the people across the planet. And as far as what I want to do with my next 10 years, I just want to keep watering the seeds of the souls around me. So that way they can strive and grow into the greatest version of themselves. So that way they can have this earthly experience of becoming the person they were born to be. I would hate to have to meet my maker down the road and him say, tell me what your life experience was like, and then give him my point of view. And then him tell me, that's great and all, but come here, here's your file. This is what I had intended for you. And I want everyone to know what that feels like. I want everyone to know what it's like to chase their greatness and go after it and become who they were supposed to be on this planet, because it's out there. And I will spend the rest of my days helping people, believing in people. Why? Because people took a chance on me. And I just want to keep paying it forward. And if I talk to you 10 years from now, I'm sure that we'll have the exact same conversation. I'll be doing the exact same thing. My hair may be gray, but hopefully you and I will still be alive to have that conversation January 30th, 2050.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to meet you in person, my friend. You're such a great soul and spirit. Thank you for sharing all these great nuggets. I know that you have a lot to share, but we have time frame to stick to. But thank you so much for sharing all these golden nuggets. And as I told you, that there are so many people who are looking to hear and listen to inspirational stories like yours, and learn what are the pillars that can hold us accountable throughout the whole experience or the whole journey of overcoming the adversity. um, Nelson, thank you so much. If there is any last thing you want to share with us before we close out.
Absolutely, yes. There's something I'd love to share. I'm done talking about myself. I just wanna applaud you and admire you for what you are doing with your life, giving hope to people on the planet. And I thank you for letting me be a part of your life's mission and your life story today. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, and thank the universe for letting us cross roads and meet each other. And hopefully, as I told you backstage, we're going to have great things done together. Thank you, my
I can't
friend.
wait.
Blessings to you and to your loved ones.
Right back at you, sir.
Take care.